I'm staying at Rock Island Mountain View Campground. I've stayed here twice now. This is my second time. I'm on my third day here with this trip. And it's one of my all-time favorite, maybe truly my favorite Hipcamp spot that I've been to so far. So I'm going to give you a tour around and kind of tell you why I like it so much and why I would recommend that you come here and check it out. So here's the road that you come in on. And that's the main campsite there. There's a lot more to it than just that, but that's primarily where you would be. And there's the road on the other side. This is called a Rock Island campsite, but we're actually in Bone Cave. Oh my gosh, there's a deer down there crossing the street. Ricky's gonna probably freak out. He didn't even care. Okay. Anyways, right where that deer went in that driveway to the right, that's actually the road to, there's another deer going across. That's the road to Bone Cave. There's another deer going across. I can't even get through this little introduction here because of all the deer. I'm surprised he's not barking. But anyways, where those deer went, that's the road that takes you back to Bone Cave natural area. And Bone Cave is pretty neat. I went back there. There's an old homestead. A few buildings are still preserved. And you can actually take a trail and go down to Bone Cave itself. Big Bone Cave is what it's called. And the cave is sealed off, so you can't go back through all the passages and tunnels and whatnot. But you could at least go down into the entrance of it and look around. It's pretty cool. And on this side of the road, all of this is Bone Cave natural area. So this trail's back through there. You could wander around, and I think it's about 400 or 500 acres. And the campsite's right across the street. So if you're someone that likes nature and whatnot, this is a wonderful place to be. You can also tell how quiet it is here. There's no houses down this way. I think it's about a mile or maybe 2 miles down that side before you get to a house. And then there's one house down on the other side of that drive I mentioned to you. That's it. So you got a lot of privacy and a lot of isolation and some really beautiful views once you get up to the site. And that's what we're going to look at next. It's astounding to me that there's not a house here, and the fact that the people that own this let strangers like myself stay here. It's just a beautiful view. Like in 180 degrees all the way around from the main camp spot. It's just rolling mountains and farms, and I'm not sure how well this turns out on camera here, but in person, believe me, it's very, very, very pretty. And then there's forests on the other side, which is nice. And all these, on each side here, these forests have little trails that go down. I'll show you that as well. And then you can kind of plug in anywhere you want. This is just where I position my camper because I've got a rear door, so it's just nice looking out that rear door at the view. But you could turn yours any way you want. You've got 50, 30, and 20 amp electric. You got sewage hookups as well. You have to be probably closer to that white pipe to connect to the sewage. I'll just empty my tanks whenever I leave here later on. And water supply as well, of course. So you've got pretty much full hookups. You do, it's not even pretty much. You've got full hookups here, which is really unique in such a private setting like this, which is also strange that there's no house here. Like, they've got all the utilities for a house, and they just decided to make it a special recreation spot, which is a decision that I fully endorse and appreciate. So the main camp spot here is just in this wide open clearing, well maintained. Grass isn't high, it's not all muddy. And then there's a gravel drive from right by those trees straight ahead that you'd pull into. It's just a very, very slight grade. And you can see my camper's on the hill. If I were to have set it up by that sewage connection where my truck is, it would be more level. So I had a little bit of a challenge leveling out, but that was my decision because I wanted to back it in towards the view to the rear. I don't think most people would have that problem. So yeah, it's wide open and lots of place to let your dog run around. When I'm out here with Ricky, he's not even on a leash, which is kind of fun to let him just kind of do his thing and not have to worry about him. And there's no traffic on this road. Like I said, one house in one direction and no houses in the other. I think maybe I've been here for 3 days, maybe 4 or 5 cars. One of them was a UPS truck, drove past. To put it in perspective of where I'm at, I'm on the other side of the field. There's another electric hookup here. If you rent this site, you get the whole thing to yourself, but you could have 2 campers here if you want. There's water inside this shed. It's got a giant water tank inside. And then there's just like an outside porta potty, sort of a tent thing here. I've been talking to the Hipcamp host, and they are planning to put a regular outhouse here eventually. So that'll be nice. There's trash cans all around, so that's another nice thing. It's very easy to keep the place clean and pick up after yourself. Cell signal here is really good too. I get between 2 and 3 bars with Verizon, so I've had no problems. It's been perfectly fine to use my mobile hotspot. Down this little trail here, it takes you down around, makes a little loop and takes you back up to the road. So there's little bits of area to walk around the trees here. And then on the other side of the field is another trail that takes you down through the trees here. We'll take a little walk down this ways. So this trail splits off to the right and to the left. We'll go to the right. I'll show you what's back here. So that little side trail to the right takes you to this wide open clearing, which is a great spot for a tent site. So I don't know, like if you were having a family reunion or something like that, and you had a couple campers and then maybe some kids or something that wanted to camp in a tent, there's, probably dozens of acres of property here where you could just spread out and have everybody in their own little spots. They don't rent the tent sites separate, like I said, you rent the place, you get the whole thing. So it's pretty neat that you got all these little coves and trails to camp along. And then if you were to take that side trail to the left, you come to another space. There's a deer stand there and another clearing for a couple more tent sites. Back at the field now, a couple of little wind chimes there that sound nice when it's windy. We're going to go down this trail here at the far end of the field back onto the road. We're going to walk down the road, I don't know, 100 yards or so to get to the next little location they've got. So in addition to Bone Cave, which I mentioned earlier, you're really close to a bunch of other parks and natural areas. You've got Virgin Falls. There's a bunch of waterfalls along the Virgin Falls Trail. Rock Island. There's Dog Cove. All of these places have lots of hiking trails and picnic grounds and just generally beautiful natural scenery. So lots to do in this area. You could literally walk, 50 miles along some of these trails. And even if you're not into hiking and stuff, all these places, like if you don't want to climb down a bunch of rocks to see a waterfall, if that's just not your thing, these places all have picnic areas and recreation spots. So there's stuff to do even if you're not a big hiker. So we just turned a bend on that road. We're about 100 yards or so from the main campsite. And there's another driveway here that takes you to a part of their property that they're still developing. I want to show you what's back here. So they put in a proper outhouse here already. And this deck that they built is going to be the spot for an A-frame cabin. So this will be real pretty when it's all finished. I guess maybe this will be another place to rent at some point when it's done. But got a gravel driveway, and I think this will probably be some kind of like parking spot down here. And then if we just continue away from that little deck, it takes you up this other little trail, and this will lead us back onto the road. And we're back to the site. All right, so that's it. Rock Island Mountain View campsite. I'll put a link to the Hipcamp listing in the description of this video so you can check it out. I don't remember what this cost. It wasn't much more, if any more, than a reservation at a regular campground somewhere. So, but even besides that, if it cost twice as much, I'd still want to stay here because it's such a pretty place. And you can't really get anything like this anywhere else. So check it out. And if you come here, I hope that you enjoy it as much as I have. And Ricky's off leash. What a happy pup. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.